Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about a comment that was made on one of my videos the other day. And the reason why I'm making a video about it instead of just go ahead and answer the comment is because of pure simple fact is I want to explain something here. Okay, and I want to explain it because this person wasn't the only person that asked me. It was a few other people that asked me the question as well. So I want to clarify it right now. Now, there's a lot of claims in the JFK assassination in the last 54 years, and people still want to bring this up or bring that up. Now, what I'm going to do here is usually I don't usually talk about other people's research. Okay, I will never do that, but I want to use something as an example here for a minute, and I want to point out some facts about some stuff too as well. Now, everybody's probably seen the JFK movie by Oliver Stone. Okay, now in that movie, they have Jack Ruby when it was doing TV interviews in front of people and stuff of Oswald coming out, and they have Mr. Murray who played Jack Ruby in the movie in the background going, uh, he works for the Fair Play for Cuba committee, and that's not true. That was never said in that video or in that footage. It was never, you don't hear Jack Ruby saying nothing in there. But they put it in the movie to sell the movie. Then they have him also coming around. He took a shot to Oswald. He comes around, he says, Oswald, and shoots the right, shoots his gun and shoots and kills Oswald. Okay, that was never said either. Okay, I'm watching original footage now, and not one time have I hear Jack Ruby say anything in the backgrounds or in the surroundings or anything else. But just people out there claiming, oh yeah, I heard him say this, I heard him say that. But that's all false stories. Just like a lot of people don't understand that when you start basing your research and stuff, and reason why I had to say this a little bit is just like Jim Myers, which Jim Myers is a good researcher. Okay, he just passed away not too long ago. God rest his soul. Good research and stuff, but there was a lot of things that he based his research on was actually false statements. Okay, and that's what they based the JFK Oliver Stone's JFK movie was based on Crossfires, which is his book. Okay, but what they don't understand is this: when I say when a researcher does research, he's got to, and when he goes and try to use people's testimonies as evidence, okay, you better make sure that that evidence and that testimony is accurate and it's right and it's not false, because when you use that into your research, you will actually, what's the word? Actually, your research starts becoming a little bit of fiction, okay? Like we see in the JFK movie from Oliver Stone. A lot of that stuff is fiction that's in there because none of this stuff was actually ever mentioned or anything else. This is based on this person's research. This is based on this, based on that. But we're going to look at some people that surrounds that. Okay, and we're going to point out a false testimony. Okay, there was a lady called the Babushka lady. Now nobody knows who she really is, but there is one person that did claim that she was the Babushka lady. Okay, and I've been for years saying, she's a nice lady and all, but she's not the Babushka lady. And then here recently, a lot of people in the past couple of years is coming up with stuff saying, yeah, she wasn't the Babushka lady and everything else. But I've been saying this since 2005. And I watched some of her, you know, uh, interviews that she's done, gone over interviews that she's done, watched some YouTube's videos of her at conferences and stuff. And she's sitting there saying she's the Babushka lady, which I've already pointed out years ago that she wasn't the Babushka lady. Okay. Now, and she also she says, someone gave her 4 frames from the film that she was recording in. Okay. She said her film, there's 4 frames, but actually the frame she's showing is from the Orville Nix film. Okay. That's not from her film or nothing else. But anyway, she claims she's the Babushka lady, and she met Oswald there with Jack Ruby and stuff over Jack Ruby's place and stuff, that story is false, okay? And with her putting her false statement into someone else's research, and they're going to base their research on what she tells them, okay, that's actually making false statements now. Now the researcher himself that's using that testimony stuff is putting false information in his research now, and it's not accurate, it's not true. Okay, just like Oswald being with Fair Play for Cuba Committee. Okay, that came about because Oswald was trying to throw people off. Okay, it was 2 months for the assassination when he starts doing this Fair Play for Cuba Committee. No one's before that he would even worry about it or anything else. This took place 2 months before. Okay, before the assassination. That's when this started being brought up. Okay, he wrote to the people that was head of Fair Play for community, but they denied him. They said, no, we don't want you to work for us and all this other stuff. And Oswald says, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, so it was very well planned that he wanted to use that as to throw people off. Okay, so there was nothing about no Fair Play for Cuba Committee. That was just brought in by Oswald just to throw people off. Okay, so Jack Ruby didn't have nothing to do with that. So Jack Ruby cannot say, hey, he worked for Fair Play. No, he can't, because Jack Ruby didn't know nothing about it at that time. Okay, like I said, that story didn't come up or refurbish until the 1970s. And then it went to Roger Stone's film when he started bringing all that stuff up, because that was all false information. Okay, and there was another lady goes out there, which she also based the research on, was Judith Baker. Everybody knows her, where she claims she was Oswald's lover, but she can't prove that she was Oswald's lover by, all her testimonies, and people's basing their research on her testimony, and all her information she's given is actually false. Okay, because there's no pictures of her. I've talked to her. She's a nice lady and stuff. Like I said, I have nothing bad to say about nobody. But when it comes to pointing out facts, you have to say this is true and that's true, but this is false and that's false, and you have to tell people this, because if you don't tell people this, you're in the wrong as a researcher yourself, because you're not telling them the truth. You're holding something back. You're holding information back, which you shouldn't. But like I said, she has no pictures of her and Oswald. I mean, if there was lovers, they would, known each other. They would took pictures of one another and everything else together and stuff, but there's none in the pictures or anything else about it. Okay, so now we have two people coming to one man, and he's putting their stuff in their research, and then they're going to turn around and put it into this movie and put out all this false information now. Okay, now I'm not blaming Jim Myers for it. Okay, Jim Myers is a great man. He's a good man, good researcher stuff. He's basing everything that's told to him. Okay, he's taking these people for their word, but their word was lying to him. To him, he thought they was telling him the truth, but really, and overall, when you start going through the years and you start, piecing the evidence together and piecing stuff, they was lying to him. So we cannot blame Jim Myers for any of this all false information coming out, and we can't blame Oliver Stone for any of this false information coming out, because they was being lied to from the word go. Okay, and we can't. That's why I said, when it comes to research, we got to look at it from different angles, and that's why if you look at my research, or you go through my book stuff, you won't find a lot of evidence in there. They claim it's evidence as these false stories. Okay, I'll put in there's a section of my book where I have false claims made, and I go into detail on these false claims and tell people and show people why they are false claims. Okay, excuse me. But there's a lot of people still out there today still pushing the same old stuff, and they're getting confused to themselves. They're getting more confused because of all these false claims. And they say, well, what about this person said this person said that? That's why a lot of researchers research today is kind of hard to believe, because it's like, where do they get this information at? Okay, like I pointed out, we got one lady claims she's a Babushka lady. She wasn't. Okay, we got another lady claims she was Oswald's lover, but she wasn't. Okay, so them two stories, that's two testimonies. That's two supposedly eyewitness accounts, two testimonies that they based research on, they based a movie on, and stuff like that, was false. So now the JFK assassination and Oliver Stone, okay, we got to look at it this way. Now the book and the movie is starting to become fiction now, because these two people was lying the whole time. To the people that was making the book and making the films and stuff, they thought they was telling the truth. But no, they was being lied to as well. So we can't blame the researcher. We can't blame the movie makers and stuff. They're only based on what they're told. They're only based on what's written in the script. That's what they do. That's how they make movies and stuff. But anyway, I want to make this video here to answer the question on the comment. Jack Ruby did not say one word about fair play for Cuba committee. He did not say Oswald as he was coming around, and he yelled out Oswald when he shot him. That stuff was all false statements made by another person. And then, like I said, I'll point out a few other facts here about false claims made, that it hurts people in the long run. It not only hurts the research that's been done, and high research has been done on it, but it ruins it, okay, because of these people making these false claims and these lying. I can't blame the researchers. I can't blame the movies they make about it. I can't blame the documentaries made about it, because they're only basing on what is told to them, when it's the people in general themselves, the eyewitness accounts and stuff like that. They're the ones that's making up the stories, and they're telling it to these researchers and stuff, but they have nothing. That's why when it came to me, when Judith Baker says she was Oswald's lover, show me some proof. I mean, she could show me a slip that she worked in the same place as Oswald, but she cannot show me any love letters. She can't show me, any images of her and Oswald. She can't show no kind of evidence whatsoever about her and Oswald's connection. Okay, they bring up David Ferrie. David Ferrie, he's a human being. He was real, but it had nothing to do with Oswald. Okay, uh, the other people they bring up didn't had nothing to do with Oswald, but they want to bring it up. Okay, they want to bring it up and say Oswald has something to do with him, but he really didn't. Okay, so these are the things we have to look at. Okay, and like I said, they're basing their research not only on the evidence, but they're based on what is told to them by eyewitness accounts, and taking their testimony and using that as evidence when the testimonies that was given to them was false. I want to make this video, like I said, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, don't forget to tell your friends about us. I'm going to be making some more videos here soon. And thank you, and have a pleasant night. God bless.